This is episode 43 of the Super Parent Syndrome, and this is your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. Today's episode is April Fools and Who's Fooling Who. So sit back and relax and be ready for a podcast.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Okay, folks, so this weekend was April Fool's Day, and as you know, it is the center for, practical jokes, lots of funny stuff going on, a lot of people trying to fool people, and so the whole point that I'm trying to purvey on this is that my question to you is, who's fooling you? And if you really think about it, it's probably yourself. And basically what I could actually retitle this podcast is that you need to stop lying to yourself. Around this time also, a lot of kids are actually getting their midterms or grades for halfway through the semester. And so I like to really just propose to you that, what about you? How are you doing? What is your grade right now? And the best part about getting midterm grades is a chance to course correct or to make changes or study harder or try harder to actually win for the semester or to get those goals that we wanted to. Now, a lot of us set a number of resolutions this year, starting in January, and for most of you, you've already quit. In fact, probably distance quit, meaning that you stopped way back in January or early February, and so there's probably no chance that things are still on board for you. So my challenge for you is that if you take a moment to give yourself some grades, what would those be? And be real honest with yourself. And what I mean by that is stop lying to yourself. If you're like 40 pounds overweight, your health is not great. I don't care how you feel. If you have no pain, I'm so happy for you. But the fact that you might be on 6 medications or you can't even wipe your own butt because your back hurts, those things are not even just warning signs. Those are reasons that you're just trying to ignore. And it's kind of like this. Sometimes even our health, it could be. I had a friend who bought a minivan, and in this minivan was this chiming sound every time he backs up to kind of warn him where the car behind him is or objects were behind him. Now, at first, when he first got this thing, he was so annoyed by this chiming noise. But after about a month or two, he started not even noticing it. So he'd be backing up, and he'd be going beep, 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 and really just freaking out, and he would just ignore it. And that's what our body often tries to tell us, is that it's like, hey, pay attention to me. There's something going on here. And after a while, we just stop to ignore it. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's just our body's it's a word of survival for us. And so I need you guys to take a moment to see like, hey, what's chiming in our lives? What's going on here? What do we need to be actually paying attention to? If I really took a hard look at my marriage, what grade would I give myself? If I took a real hard look at my relationship with my children, what would that grade look like? Do I even know their best friend's name? Do I know their favorite color? Do I even know their favorite song? What are those things? And you can split this off in a lot of things. And so what I want everybody to do is take a piece of paper and I want you to divide this into categories. And so what I want you to do first is for your overall physical health, I want you to write down fitness and food. Okay. And then you're going to give yourself a grade. Okay. And maybe make this even a little bit better. Go from 0 to a 10. And 10 is like, you're a freaking rock star. Okay. 10, you can't even get better if you tried. In fact, you should be writing books and teaching other people how to do this. And a 0 is, of course, the person that just is a hot mess. Okay. Which means there's very, very little hope for you yet. And you need to change something or address something's going to happen. So from 0 to 10, rate yourself. Okay. And I want you to do fitness and food. And then I also want you to do spirituality. So your spiritual health. And I want you to do religion. And I want you to do not self-confidence, but self-image, the way you view yourself. Okay. And then I want you to do family. So I want you to rate yourself for your spouse and then for each child that you have, but then also for just friends, and don't name specific friends, but just put friends in general. And then I also want you to also rate yourself on business. So first of all, put bank account, because man, it's hard to lie on that one. And then also opportunities. Okay. Give yourself a ranking out of all of these. Then if you are married, or even if you're not married, choose your best friend. But I want you to copy this without your grade on it. And I want them to grade you. And what you're going to find is absolutely shocking, especially when it comes to marriage. because fellas, I can tell you, you might be thinking you're a 6 or 7, but most likely you're more of a 3 or 4 if you're lucky. Okay. And that's what I found out. And I was like, whoa, I thought I was going, Mr. Romance and do this. Yeah, I might've been a touchy-feely kind of guy, but I definitely was not fulfilling her needs. But it gave me the opportunity, that midterm grade, to make a course correction. And those course corrections can be huge. Because here's the thing. At some point, you were able to woo this woman or woo this guy, and you had everything on point. Okay. But even a 1 degree change or a 2 degree change, pilots know this, or boat operators know this. If we just turn that plane 1 degree, it's just 1 degree off to actually make a difference and to love a person in the way that they want to be loved, but also making sure you're connecting with your children and that you're doing those things that you need to constantly be building up your bank account, but also your sense of health and fitness. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. So please do that. If you feel bold enough, please post those. I'm going to actually post mine on that Facebook page. And if you haven't done so, please sign up for our Facebook page and like that page. And if you can, please leave a review on iTunes. I'd really appreciate that. But overall, I just want to let you guys know that I'm here for you in any way I can. If you have some suggestions for episodes, I'd love to hear them. And do yourself a favor and check out peptalkforparents.com, where you can get the show notes for this, but also sign up for the e-newsletter where you have the written show notes too as well. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Otherwise, this is Dr. Nick Fanning signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.